I live in a house extravagantly decorated for the seasons of Advent and Christmas. It is festooned with lights inside and out, many commemorating the Christmas story. The camels are getting ever closer to the stable in lights on top of the garage. My children are active participants in this yearly ritual, often taking the lead. Until this year, it had never occurred to me that we decorate our house at Christmas, at Easter, and at other times of the year with symbols of the Christian faith we share. It has never occurred to me because it has never been an issue, certainly never a danger, to live in a house bearing clear Christian symbols. It has never been a problem until this year when I heard a Jewish mother being interviewed, expressing her grief at the loss of a close friend in the Bondi Beach massacre. For us it is Advent, for Jews it is Hanukkah. We have the Advent star twinkling. In her house, they have the menorah in lights brightening the night sky. After the Bondi Beach tragedy, her children begged her to turn off the menorah, to quench the public symbol of their Judaism, because it made them afraid. It made them afraid that their house, as publicly Jewish, would become a target and they would all be unsafe. It made them afraid that they would be hurt, or worse, in quiet suburban Sydney because they lived in a house with Jewish symbols. And then I cried. I cried that these children felt unsafe to be who they are, to express their faith, their religious understanding of the world. I cried because Hanukkah celebrates the victory of light over dark, but last Sunday night we all plunged into the dark. I cried because this happened in the city I love, and this massacre of the innocents has changed this city forever. And I cried for those who died, and for those who were struggling with the loss of someone they loved, and for those who are still dealing with their wounds and may continue to do so for some time. We all, I believe, share in the pain of the terrible loss of life at an innocent gathering at the beach. Matilda, a bright, happy 10-year-old, killed in front of her 6-year-old sister. Alexander Kleitman, who survived the Holocaust only to die on Bondi Beach. Rabbis and community leaders indiscriminately killed. There is no way to make sense of these deaths. But the message of Hanukkah is the triumph of light over dark, and the message of Advent is also one of hope. Not a passive hope, but a journey towards the light of God and a preparation through acts of love and service to be able to participate in the complete triumph of light over darkness. We may have thought that the darkness won on Sunday night, but we saw that even in death, husbands acted in love to protect their wives. The Germans acted selflessly to protect others. Ahmed el-Ahmed ran towards danger, motivated by love for those he did not know and a desire to be of service to his new community of Australia. We should never forget the lives which have been lost, and we must commit to walk with those who will grieve their loss in the years ahead. We should support those who were wounded in this hateful attack, including the brave police officers who literally put their bodies on the line to be of service to our community. And we should always remember the pain of those children, too scared to light the menorah, scared to be publicly Jewish in a society where we proudly claim to respect all cultures, all faiths. But we must also remember the light in the terrible darkness of pain and suffering, the light of love that was expressed by the brave actions of those who gave their lives and their safety, for those they loved and for those they didn't even know. The service of those first responders and kind volunteers caring for the dead and the injured. And we must now all answer the call to hope and to provide hope for others. The greatest pain of last Sunday night is not that 15 innocents and a gunman are dead. It is that we all allowed hate to grow in our society so that some members thought it was acceptable to pull the triggers on those guns and shoot at a peaceful Hanukkah crowd. It is that children are scared to live in a house with a lit menorah while I can live in the middle of a blazing Christmas tree without a second thought. It is that we have told ourselves that we are a multicultural society while allowing anti-Semitism, perhaps more accurately described as Jew hatred, to fester. We cannot bring back the dead, but we can restore hope to the living. We can all be the voice that calls out anti-Semitism, that quiets the chants of globalise the Intifada and from the river to the sea, and that creates a community where our Jewish neighbours are not made to feel responsible for events thousands of miles away or which happened thousands of years ago, but are accepted and loved as the integral members of our society they truly are. It is not a choice between respecting Muslims and respecting Jews. Australia at our multicultural best shows this every day. Ahmed El Ahmed showed this in a very practical way. It is a choice of choosing light over dark, love over hate, kind words over hateful slogans. No law can make us turn away from hate speech, but choosing the light of this season can. And we owe it to 10-year-old Matilda and her 6-year-old sister Summer to choose the light. We owe it to children too scared to light their own festive menorah to choose the light of loving words. We owe it to those students at the University of Sydney too scared to attend lectures because of the hostile and open anti-Semitism they faced. We owe it to the Jewish school children who walk into class past guns to protect them from hate. We owe it to those who worship at both St Mary's Cathedral and the Great Synagogue who were affected by the weekly protests with what we have to recognise as the constant drip of anti-Semitism. We owe it to the mothers too scared to send their children to daycare in case their centre too was firebombed. We owe it to a young Jewish couple who on their wedding day were stopped in the street, not for congratulations, but to be spat upon by Jew haters. In Sydney, in our city. We owe it to the society we all want to build to choose light over darkness, and we owe it to the dignity of each human person, Jew and Gentile alike, to choose light over darkness in every choice we make, every hour of every day. It is these choices, made by every one of us, which will bring the light back into sad and darkened lives. And if we fail to choose the light, we really will fall into the dark vortex that seemed to open up under our feet on that Sunday night.